Hey Apurva, hi.
Hey Vatsal.
Thank you for being here.
Thank you.
And let's dive straight into the case.
Absolutely.
So we've been hired by a college cafe. So it's a small restaurant near a popular college in the city, and it's facing decreasing profits. So decreasing profitability. So essentially, we've been hired to help them figure out why that is happening, and then recommend some ways to change that.
Okay, sounds good. Okay, can I take a minute to
Sure.
think through the case? Yeah. Okay, cool. It would be helpful to have a couple of clarifications from you about the college cafe and to ascertain why the profitability is going down.
Yeah.
Would be helpful to understand what products is the cafe currently selling?
So because this is not a proper restaurant, it's a college cafe, they only have 3 products that they sell. One is they sell spaghetti, which is the main food item. Second is they sell soft drinks, which usually goes with the spaghetti. Okay. And third is desserts. Think of something like a brownie kind of a dish.
Okay. And these are usually sold in isolation. These are 3 separate products, or there's a combo that you usually sell?
So no, there's no combo or anything. People can order it separately. If they want all 3, they can order all 3 and pay for them individually.
Okay, understood. Okay. And can we also get a sense of how much each of these products sell and what has been the trend for these products?
Sure. So earlier, I can tell you, say on average, what consumption has been. Earlier, for spaghetti, people used to eat 1 plate. Now people are eating 1.6 plates on average. For soft drinks, consumption has gone up from say 1.5 to 1.7. And desserts has gone from 0.8 per person to 0.6.
Got it. Okay. So it does look like spaghetti and soft drinks has seen an increase in volumes, and desserts has seen a decrease in volumes per capita consumption.
Yes.
Okay. Do you also have a sense of margins for each of these products?
So
how much do we make?
Given the college is, not really sophisticated, we have cost numbers. We don't really have margin numbers.
Okay.
So spaghetti costs us $4 per plate.
Okay. And how much do we sell it for?
Earlier we sold it for $6 a plate.
Okay.
Broadly, I think there's no change there.
Okay.
Now, and soft drinks, we used to sell it for say $4 a drink. It's the same till now.
Okay.
And we're at dessert. Desserts we used to sell for $12 a plate.
Got it. Okay.
It's the same currently.
All right. And what's the cost for soft drinks and
So
desserts?
soft drinks used to cost us $2.5 before. Now it is costing us 2.6.
Okay.
And desserts was costing us $5, and that has not changed.
That hasn't changed. Okay, understood. So if I'll just quickly take a minute to process all of this.
Yeah.
Got it. Okay. So it does look like the low margin products, which are spaghetti and soft drinks, are seeing an increase in volumes.
Yeah.
And desserts, which were high margin products for us, have actually seen a decrease in volumes. So prima facie, it does look like the real driver of margin decrease for us is increase in volumes for spaghetti and soft drinks. If okay, I would like to deep dive further into the reasons for why we've seen an increase in volumes. Okay, so I'll just take a minute to quickly gather my thoughts.
Yeah.
Sounds good. I think so. To understand this further, what we can do is think of a few levers of why the volumes have gone up for spaghetti and soft drinks and why the volumes for desserts have come down, right? There are 4 broad themes that I can think of, which is, have we introduced any new offers that have led to increase offtake for soft drinks and spaghetti, or a combo pack for the two? Okay. Is there a seasonal impact? Is there a specific season of the year where offtake for these products is higher? And hence we are seeing a slight fluctuation in margins, but it's only seasonal, that we'll expect our margins to go back up. Is there any other? Are there any other new batches that have been inducted in the college that a new sort of new standards being inducted, which have higher preferences for spaghetti and lower preference for desserts, are probably more health conscious, and hence there is increase of take. And then final one, which is that have we seen certain changes with respect to the current chefs that we have, right? That are we seeing lower number of chefs being available for desserts, and hence are not available, are unable to give the supply that we need, and hence spaghetti and soft drinks have to be pushed more, so that we compensate for the decreased volumes for desserts. Are there any specific levers here that you would like me to deep dive into?
So I mean, on the first one, we did introduce an offer.
Okay.
The offer was that for spaghetti, we introduced all you can eat offer.
Okay.
Where the customer can pay say $8 and eat as much spaghetti as they want. So from earlier $6 per plate, we started this offer of $8 of spaghetti, and because of this we saw increase in footfall, as in the number of people that came to our cafes has gone up by 20%. So about, if it was 100 before, now it's 120.
Okay.
So that is the effect. That is the offer that we really kind of introduced.
Okay.
So
Understood.
do you have a sense of why? So spaghetti I get. Do you have a sense of why the soft drink also would have gone up?
In my mind, these are complementary products. Someone ordering spaghetti will also want some soft drinks along with it, because it's just easier to gulp, I think.
Right. So yeah, you're absolutely right. That is the reason for that as well.
Okay.
On your other factors that you had listed down, so I mean, all of those are good in terms of that could have been possible, but the college is in its year, mid-year, so there's no kind of room for new inductions.
Got it.
Then again, there's no change in preferences of the students. Roughly because we broadly have one dish per course, so to say, because there's no other option on spaghetti for main course, right? So people, if they want to have main course, they'll have spaghetti. There's no change there. So what was the last one?
I think any changes, chefs, etc. No, none of those.
Nothing.
Got it. I think so. This is very clear to me that the reason for our profitability increase and volume increase for spaghetti, which has gone up from 1 plate to 1.6 plates per person, and soft drinks that have also gone up from 1.5 to 1.7, is driving the margins down. Now, would be interesting to understand that given our footfall has increased by 20% with the new offer that we've recently introduced, are we pricing the product right? In the sense that, are we losing out more money by pricing it at $8, that people are having more spaghetti and it's costing us more to serve the same customers because of the offers, right? So do you have a sense on, we made like 33% margins for a spaghetti plate, which was priced at $6, and it cost us $4 to make. Do you know how much it costs us on an average for the equivalent $8 number, like when
so I mean,
unlimited?
Given, I think you have the information, it costs you $4 per plate still. So I think you
makes sense. No, I get that. Okay, fine. So if the sales, the cost is $4 for a plate, and then on an average people consume 1.6, so that's roughly 6.4 per plate, and so initially it was 4 and it was 6. This was the cost and revenue. The cost was 4 and revenue was 6. Now the cost has gone up to 6.4, revenue has gone up to 8. Initially I made 33% margins, which was $2. Right now I'm making 20% margins, right? So my margins have come down from 33% to 20%, which is driving my overall profitability down. And which means that if I want to continue to make the profits that I was making, I want my margins to be 33% again, which would roughly mean that I need to price my product at roughly $10 for the unlimited buffet. So the $8 has to go up to $10 so that I continue to make my...
So that's one possible way to do it.
Okay.
Do you have any other kind of recommendations?
Sure, I'll just take a minute to think through. I think two more options that I can think of. One is introducing a combo pack which also includes desserts.
Okay.
Right. So currently I have $8 for unlimited spaghetti, but I can also add soft drinks and desserts to the combo pack and price it accordingly, so that I have more high margin products inducted as a part of the combo offer, and hence my overall margins go up.
Okay.
The other option that I can think of is I put a cap on the number of plates a person can have of spaghetti, right? Instead of making it unlimited for $8, I make it 2 plates for $8, you know, one for 6 and 2 for 8 as an example, right? Which caps my upside, that if there are people who just take spaghetti from me but don't eventually end up eating it, I sort of stop the wastage.
Yeah, so I mean, given the data, we know that they won't go on average above 1.6, right?
Yeah, so I mean, but there will be people. There will be. Right, so that's just to cut out the extremes.
Valid. Fine, that is useful. Any other areas that you see based on what you've seen that might also have another lever? So maybe, so we've covered spaghetti. What about the other two, for example?
Got it. I think 2 things that we can do here is rethink the pricing for soft drinks.
Okay.
Because we see that the volume offtake for soft drinks has not gone up proportionally as much as spaghetti would go, right? So 1.6x increase for spaghetti, but we don't see that corresponding increase for soft drinks. You know, would be helpful to deep down further of why that offtake hasn't happened, like why are people not consuming the same number, and hence is price an issue? If so, can we price it accordingly that we continue to make the same margins, but we have more and more volume offtake for soft drinks? Similarly for desserts, because it's a high ticket size, you know, we have a $12 item and that's giving us a lot of margins. Can we think of alternate applications such as decreasing the price so that our margins are slightly in line with what soft drinks and spaghetti has to offer, or not really having large items but maybe having multiple $3-4 items, small ticket size items that continue to give us the margins that we have, but you know, given that they are low ticket size items, will help us with higher volumes.
Got it.
So yeah, those 2 things can additionally be done.
Understood. So this is very useful. Could you just summarize based on what your findings are?
Absolutely. Absolutely. No, I think it's so what's happening here is the college cafe we are working for our client is facing decreasing profitability. This decreasing profitability is largely driven by increase in volumes for spaghetti and soft drinks, which is a lower margin product, and decrease in volumes for desserts, which is a higher margin product for us. The increase in volumes is largely driven by our newest combo offer that has been introduced, an unlimited spaghetti for $8, which is not really yielding great results for us, right? It's given us 20% extra volumes, but it's also led to our margin coming down from 33% to 20%. And you know, we must look at alternatives to either cap our margin decrease from spaghetti, or also think about how we can boost sales for soft drinks and our desserts, which are more high margin products for us.
Understood. Thank you, Apurva. This was great.
Great to be here.
Thank you.
Great experience. Thank you.
Hey guys. So just doing a review of how the interview went, right? Just breaking it down step by step and thinking about what things went right and what could have been, you know, done more to make it better. So the way the case is supposed to go is, once you get the problem statement, you kind of ensure that you and the interviewer are on the same page. So here the question was more on profitability. While people can think of profitability in 2 ways, one could be absolute profits, other could be percentage profits. Profitability usually means percentage profit. So it is good to clarify upfront. While Apurva was very clear about what profitability means, if you are confused, it's better to clarify at the start itself. So that was the first part. The second part is on asking preliminary questions, which I think he covered fairly well. He understood what the context is, what the products are that we are selling, and things around the general information that you need to just wrap your heads around what problem you're dealing with. Anything around products, on who the customers are, on where the location is, which was all covered by him. So that was done really well. Then he took time and thought of what could be happening and what are possible reasons that why the issue that is coming up would be happening, and then kind of asked for data around it to confirm his understanding. So that is also the way it should go. While thinking of this stage, first you kind of take time think of all possible reasons, put it down on a paper, and when you've done putting it down, you explain all of those ideas in a brief way to the interviewer. So this will kind of have the interviewer engaged on your ideas rather than it becoming a monologue where it's just you who is speaking. So we want to avoid those situations as well. Then what he did really well is when he was writing down on his scratch paper, he structured it really well, as in before price and after price was really clear. The before cost is after cost was really clear, and so he was able to quickly calculate what the margins are, as in what the profit is, gross profit is from individual products. So it's very important that also happens. And if you kind of write it, say if you write revenue in one place versus cost in some other piece of the paper, then that will kind of make you run from one place to another while having to calculate. So I think that also went really well. Once he found the reason, right, that the decrease was because spaghetti margin had reduced, but the quantity had gone up. So that's when he figured out, okay, this is the issue. And then he deep dived into it to figure out why this issue has come up, right? That's where then he kind of used his, I would say, imagination, creativity, and his own experience to identify possible factors. So this is where interviewers will test you in terms of your industry knowledge, or are you able to think logically of what could be possible reasons. While we may not have worked in those industries, but even if you've been a customer of that product, it's on you to kind of think of some factors that would have had this effect. And this is the area where you can really create a differentiation between you versus someone else. So if you're able to kind of communicate what you know of in a really effective way, that's where the interviewer will really like you, and he will kind of think that, okay, you have a good practical knowledge about how things work. So that went well. And then when I asked him about recommendations, so his first recommendation was really bang on, that yes, we are not pricing it properly while we have the offer, but the pricing is off. So I mean, that is the biggest kind of factor that if you change, and that's the most easiest to change, that profitability will come back. So here I think the lens that he had was more of a, what is the big thing that can change and that can be changed, which can bring a big impact. So we call that a 80-20 lens. So having that is also very important. What this means essentially is you pick up the big portion that is affecting your problem in a major way. He could have easily gone to, say, desserts and said, we can increase pushing, or we can give a offer here. But I mean, we really don't know that how much of an impact that would have created, especially because it has a low volume right now. So it was good on his part that he picked up the spaghetti pricing. One thing that he could also have done was picked up the soft drink pricing. So one thing that I would say could have added was that the cost had gone up from 2.5 to 2.6. So that one, as in $0.1 of difference, that was essentially because taxation had changed and the cost was higher because service tax or GST equivalent had gone up. But we were not passing that on to the customer. So I mean, that is fairly an easy solution, because no one will really question it at the consumer level. So that was one thing that I think he could have added to make his answer better. But broadly, he picked up the portion. He looked at the other areas and gave a valid kind of recommendation that while we do have a spaghetti offer, we should have an offer on all the three combined as well. Maybe that will increase the profitability, because I mean, not everyone is going to have the whole portion of every single thing. So based on that, he did, I would say 90% of the case went really well, and then maybe these 10% of the things like I described earlier, if those were done as well, it would have been an outstanding case. But very good effort nevertheless, and this is what a typical case interview would look like. Thank you.